And he says, so when you're being tempted, he says, no one has the right to say, God is tempting me. You can't say that. He says, because God has nothing to do with evil. He says, God can't be tempted, nor is he tempted anyone. God is perfect. The Bible says God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. He's completely separate from sin. So when sin comes in and temptation comes in, don't blame it on God. It has nothing to do with him. But we want to blame. We got to blame someone, right? I mean, that's the way it was from the beginning, wasn't it? Blame. What happened? Do you remember Adam and Eve? What happened when Adam sinned and God confronted him on it? What did he say? She made me do it. Right? Those were his words. That woman you gave me. Those were his words. She did it. Everything was fine when I was by myself, and then she comes over. Hey, coochie, here's the apple. And it's like, he goes, it's all her fault. I was totally fine, and then she, tempted me. And so God looks at Eve and says, well, what do you have to say for yourself? What does she say? The devil made me do it. It was that serpent, the devil. It's not my fault. The devil made me do it. And so all along it's this blame game. And in my mind, I thought that it was like a 21st century thing, or a 20th century thing where people now are going, well, it's God's fault. He made me this way. I thought that was something that we came up with. In our generation, well, God made me this way, so he can't blame me. But you see that James confronts the same thing 2,000 years ago. People are saying, well, it's God's fault. And James says, hey, when you are being tempted, he goes, let no one say. No one should say. It's actually the imperative. It's a command there. The verb is a command. Don't you dare say that it's God's fault. He goes, you have some reverence here and understand that God is completely separate from evil. He's not tempted by it, nor does he tempt anyone. That has nothing to do with him. So don't you dare say it's God's fault. God made me that way. But we love to blame. So who do we blame? Verse 14. But each one is tempted when, by his own desire, he is dragged away, enticed. By his own evil desire, he is dragged away and enticed. So whose fault is it? He says it comes, the literal words are, it comes under his own personal longings. The source of the temptation is from within. It is you yourself, your own personal longing. That's what's coming out here. It's not